Hello once again, and welcome back to TechNow, the web series for ServiceNow developers, builders, admins, the code curious, if you want to use that term, and everybody in between. We have a wide variety of platform topics, and I am super excited to introduce you to episode 85, where we'll be showing you and telling you how to create apps fast with the App Engine Studio. But first, on with the introductions, in case you are new to this whole circus. My name is Chuck Tomasi. I am a senior developer advocate at ServiceNow. Been here for, a long time, since about mid-2010. Seen lots of growth, lots of changes, and I love every one of them, like today's topic. I was a customer for a couple of years before that, doing implementations and custom applications along the way. And, of course, the IT history goes back even further, way back into the 80s. So dinosaurs, fossils, and vacuum tubes, that kind of thing. A number of other hobbies and interests that I've got, but I won't bore you with them here. You can listen to other podcasts and find out more about me on those. At this point, I am going to turn it over to Jeremy for his introduction.
Thanks, Chuck. Happy to be a part of this circus with you. So I'm a platform architect here at ServiceNow. I started as a customer 9 years ago and have about 16 years of overall IT experience across the enterprise. Let's see. I've done enterprise, federal, commercial implementations over my career. Like I said, started as a customer 9 years ago, spent about 5 years as a customer at several different companies, went into the consulting field on the dark side, where I got to try my hand in many different implementations. And now I get to work. We have the pleasure of working here at ServiceNow. I recently dubbed my ServiceNow Certified Master Architect title. So that was a fun 6-month journey. If anybody has any questions about that, reach out to me. Happy to talk to you about that process. I do have a degree from MTSU, and just a little bit about my personal background. I am a reserve police officer for the city that I live in, and I enjoy camping with my wife and kids. Without further ado, passing it over to Miss Valerie.
Thanks, Jeremy, and thank you, Chuck. Thank you both for inviting me here today. I am Val, as I go by. I've been at ServiceNow since 2018. I'm a product manager on the developer experience team, and I got the honor of helping to build what we're going to show today, App Engine Studio. It is focused on citizen developers, which is more my background. I have less of an IT background and more of a citizen developer background. And before ServiceNow, I worked mostly in fintech, but I also have a social venture that provides housing to homeless high school students. As far as hobbies, I have 2 young children, so my hobbies involve playing with chalk and going to playgrounds. And one day, I will get to be an adult again, I am sure. But other than that, I also have one of my good buddies here, Chris Haas, who is going to be helping me out with the presentation as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Haas. I work with Valerie on the developer experience product team here at ServiceNow. I've been with ServiceNow since 2015, so coming up on about 6 years. Actually started here as an engineer. Prior to ServiceNow, I have about a 15-year history as an engineer. So building software is pretty much all I've been doing since, well, I'm not even going to tell you how long. You'll have to do the math. And I'm super excited to talk to you about App Engine Studio, one of our latest and greatest creations. I've also been involved with the app development side since 2018, releasing Guided App Creator, which we'll talk a little bit about today. As far as my hobbies, you can see it in my background. I love riding that bike pretty much every single day. I also love spending time with my wife and our 4-year-old daughter. So thank you. We're glad to be here, and back to you, Chuck.
Interestingly enough, Chris was on our last episode of Breakpoint. So if you're not subscribed to the Breakpoint podcast, I invite you to go to the link that you see on the bottom there, bit.ly/sn-break-point. And pick your favorite aggregator, whether it's iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Been doing podcasts since 2004, before there even was an Apple podcast. So if the habits are hard to break, it's my own fault. Google, Amazon, Spotify, you know where to find these. This is a conversational podcast, audio only. We talk to Chris, we talk to customers, we talk to other product managers, we talk to other developer advocates, lots of good stuff in the ecosystem that I want to share with you. And we have more lined up through the coming months. So look forward to that. It's free. It's easy. It's short. You can listen on double speed if you like. I know I talk rather fast sometimes, so good luck with the double speed. All right. I believe I'm turning it back over to you, Chris.
That's right. All right. Thank you, Chuck. So nothing like starting with the good old safe harbor slide. So ladies and gentlemen, of course, we have to show this. We are going to be showing and talking about some forward-looking statements. So please make all purchasing decisions based on what's currently released. If you want to watch this recording to get all the little details, you certainly can of this slide. But without further ado, let's just advance to the next slide. So before we get rolling, we actually wanted to start off with a poll question. So if everyone could take at least a minute here, go ahead and answer this question. So what is your primary role at your company? All right. Okay, folks, I'm going to close down this poll question. Let's go ahead and see the answers here. All right. A decent split. A lot of ServiceNow admins, a lot of developers, which we love. A few citizen developers, we love you so much. Consultants, partners, and other. So there you go, Chuck. You have quite a few in the other category that you can bond with. All right, folks. All right. Okay. So let's do what product managers do, and let's go through a few slides, and I'll cue it up for Valerie, who's going to show a demo in just a little bit. So we are here to talk about App Engine Studio. So before we actually get into App Engine Studio, let's talk about what our mission is as a developer experience team. So a little time ago, we actually all sat in a room. We said, hey, what is our mission? What is our strategy? And we said, hey, we were going to deliver reimagined developer experience that's going to empower anyone to innovate. And that was the key word there, is anyone to innovate on our platform. So where we started, and this is near and dear to my heart, it's back in the New York release, back in 2019, I believe, we released Guided App Creator. So this was a brand new experience for how you actually build apps on the Now platform. So it was a guided experience, enabled you to do things like converting spreadsheets into tables, one-click mobile apps, and setting up of classic and workspace applications. But we weren't done there. So while we were working on this, we were hard at work on achieving our ultimate mission. And that, folks, is what we're here to talk about today. How App Engine Studio is now empowering developers of every skill set to build on the Now platform. And we just released this 2 weeks ago on the store. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and definitely check it out. Great tooling. We're going to talk all about it today.
And Chris, if I could give you props before you go to the next slide. Before I joined ServiceNow as a partner, I was invited to be a part of feeding information into that Guided App Creator build. So I just want to say props to ServiceNow, and I know I'm biased at this point, but back then I didn't work for ServiceNow. And for you guys to reach out and say, what do we need to do to make dev life better for you? And for the folks that work for and around you that do development on the platform, what can we do to make things better for you? And for those who may not know a lot about development, it's been amazing to see just over the past 12 to 24 months, the work that's been put into this. And the fact that you're listening is amazing. So if anybody ever reaches out to you all asking you questions, give feedback, because we're listening. We're building based off of that feedback. So just props. Thank you.
Right. Chris, one quick comment before you may have this in a slide ahead, but I'm going to jump ahead. We're getting a lot of questions in the chat about it. App Engine licensing and App Engine Studio. Can you talk to that real quick? Because we'll kill the flames right now.
Absolutely. So App Engine Studio does require an App Engine license. So if you are an App Engine customer, you can definitely download this on your subprod and get to using it right away. If you are not an App Engine customer, you can go ahead and go get your own personal developer instance from developer.servicenow.com and go ahead and give it a little spin and do an evaluation of your own. So you can definitely evaluate it. However, you have to be an App Engine subscriber to actually use this and create apps and publish them to prod.
And as always, if you have questions about licensing, talk to your account team. We are not the source.
That's right. All right. So, Jeremy, thank you so much for those props. I actually very specifically remember exactly where we're at when we're having those conversations. So that was definitely a lot of fun and very insightful.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the why. Why behind App Engine Studio? Why the heck did we do this thing? And so our goal, not only is it to enable anyone to innovate on the platform, but our real goal is to really make digital transformation easy and intuitive on the Now platform. And if we do that, we will increase IT's ability to deliver. So we know folks are struggling with that 18 to 24 month backlog. We want to help you burn that backlog down. We also want to enable anyone to innovate in the platform. We want to expand beyond IT and enable lines of business to actually build apps on the platform, make it so easy that they can do it. So when we look into the market, like what's driving this? So the market is telling us within the next 5 years, 500 million new apps are going to be created. And that is more than the last 30 years. So digital transformation, like it's a buzz term, but hey, it is real. And you folks out there are doing it right now. Not only are we going to build a ton of new apps, but there's a huge shortage in the market of actual skilled developers. In this year alone, 1.4 million deficit of software developers that are necessary to build all these apps. So who's going to build them? So when we talk to customers, we look at the market, 61% of customers are actually now looking to expand beyond IT because they need to enable more developers to get more done. So we need to also we're listening to our customers, we're hearing you, we're trying to find solutions and to enable you to actually expand beyond IT and to enable more developers to build those apps and increase the innovation at your company. All right, so that's the mission. That's where we've come from. This is why we're doing what we're doing. So let's get into what we actually delivered. And so that's App Engine Studio, and here are all the great features that have been included within this release. The first and foremost is this concept of application templates. With our initial release, we did 5 application templates. And so these are full-blown apps that you can actually create and basically hydrate into a full-blown app that you can then build out and release to production. So we are going to expand our ecosystem. We're going to expand not only what we offer, where we have every intent of building out a massive ecosystem of partners and customers, all building their own application templates to solve specific use cases that folks can actually share with one another, put out on the store. It's just going to be an amazing way for developers and line of business developers to actually get started quickly building an application. So really excited about that. Next is guidance. So we talked about making it easier and more intuitive to build on the Now platform. And so one of the ways that we're going to help solve that is with guidance. So we've heard from IT developers, we've heard from business developers, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the first step is into building an app. I don't know why I should extend a table versus build from scratch. So we hear you, and we want to provide guidance, and we want to deliver these things like coach marks to say, hey, go ahead and add data. A little bit more guidance around, hey, why would I extend a table? So you'll see that heavily in our products going forward. Table creation. So if you're familiar with Guided App Creator, you'll know that we've implemented some really great ways for you to create tables easily and quickly. So the first, of course, is being able to create a table from an existing spreadsheet. So a lot of digital transformation is taking old spreadsheet processes and digitizing them into the Now platform. And so we want to make that super easy. So you can see it with Guided App Creator, and you'll see it with App Engine Studio as well. Not only can you create from spreadsheets, but of course you can create by extending a table. So you could say extend tasks for CMDB and get all the rich goodness from that exercise right there. And of course, we enable you to build from scratch. And regardless of which way you start to build your table, we have this new and incredible table builder product built into App Engine Studio. So it gives you a much simpler, much faster view and experience into then building out the rest of your data model. So I can start from a spreadsheet, and I can quickly then update the attributes of my columns, changing data types. I can add new columns. I can preview the data and work with data, inserting and updating data all in one experience. So it's way better than the old platform listing forms. Another really cool concept, and this also deals with templates, is the concept of object templates. So I mentioned application templates. So these are full-blown apps. These things have your data model, your flows, your experiences, and mobile apps. Object templates are a step down from that. These are ways for you to actually create things like an experience or like a flow using an actual template. So let's say you want to create a simple approval flow for a catalog item that you've already built. Now we have a template for you to do that. So all you have to really do is say, I want to create a new flow, and I want to do an approval. It'll ask you for the catalog item name, maybe a couple other questions, and boom, you now have an entire approval flow built for you and ready to go. So talk about really truly enabling people to go fast on the platform. Object templates are pretty sweet. UI Builder is another well-integrated builder product. So UI Builder, first released in Orlando, got a huge improvement in Quebec. So you can do massive amounts of power in your hands to build out great experiences on that platform. And App Engine Studio integrates super well with that. We will give you an object template to start start a portal or a workspace app really quick, and then we'll quickly launch you into UI Builder for you to actually polish off that experience and get it into production. So really cool integration point there. And the last bit I want to talk about is governance. So when we talk about enabling anyone to innovate in the platform, hey, that's great. But when it comes to platform owners and admins, they're a little bit nervous about that, and we hear you. They're like, the first thing that they told us when they saw Guided App Creator, and the first thing that they mentioned when we talked about App Engine Studios, how do I have the right insights and tools to understand what's being built on my platform? And so that's what we've delivered in this first version, and that's what we're going to continue to deliver in future versions. So the first thing that you'll notice here is that when you're done with your app, you can submit your app for review now. So this enables a platform owner or an admin to get a notice and to jump into the instance, take a look at the app, do a quick code review, and approve or deny that application. And if that application is approved, that application is then moved to your test server and then to your production server, all using our CI/CD pipeline and spoke. That's all part of the Now platform. So that's a quick overview of all the great things that are coming with App Engine Studio. I want to do another poll question before I turn it over to Val for the demo. So let's take another minute here and go ahead and answer this question. So which of the following best describes your citizen development practice?
So Chris, while folks think through that, a question popped up. Can we add our own templates to App Engine Studio?
Not yet, but that is definitely on the roadmap. That is one of the things that we know is crucial to enabling people to build out an awesome ecosystem of templates. It's enabling you to build and templatize your own. So that is coming quickly. It's definitely within our roadmap. You'll probably see it within the next year for sure, but I can't actually say the actual dates quite yet.
Okay. Let's do another quick question. Is there a way to convert an existing application that isn't in AES? Maybe we built this starting in Studio. Maybe we started from scratch. Is there a way to convert that to something you can use in AES?
So at this time there is. It's a bit of a, I'll say the word because we have developers on here. It's a bit of a hack to get it into AES today. But with our September release that's coming, that will be a seamless transition. So whether you start the application in App Engine Studio or you start it in Dev Studio, it will be visible in both places with no additional hacks. All right, let me go ahead and advance here. All right. Okay, 41% no plans, about 45% about investigating. All right, so yeah, this is actually pretty much right in line with what we see in the market. So this is great to see, folks, and hopefully those that don't have any plans might change their mind after they see what we have in store for them today.
With Guided App Creator is that you will notice a little bit of a change since we've converted to workspace creation using App Engine Studio. You're going to see that workspace experiences will be a part of your new app build in App Engine Studio, but from Guided App Creator, you'll see Agent Workspace drop off to encourage that. But the question came up in the past about UI Builder and Agent Workspace. Can you still create them? And you can. So just wanted to kind of add to that question because I know it comes up quite a bit in back channels. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to add more color, like the new UI Builder uses a brand new architecture. So we pretty much the workspaces prior to Quebec just simply aren't compatible. The components are. So any custom components you've done, all good. Right. But yeah, simply the architecture changed. So that's the biggest driver behind the change.
All right. So I'm Val, project manager, and super excited to show this tool to you all. So as Chris mentioned, this is App Engine Studio, and we launched it just a couple of weeks ago in the store. And the purpose is to give citizen developers a place where they can create applications to help them be more productive with their daily work. Now, citizen developers to us are folks who have technical acumen but sit outside of IT. So today I'm going to give you a quick tour of the tool, and then I will show you two flows. One for how to create an application from scratch, and another on how to create an application from a template. So this is App Engine Studio Home, And right away, if a user knows what they're doing and they just want to hop on in, they could add a table to an application. They could go over into UI Builder and add an experience. They could get into Flow Designer and add any flows. They could take a look at our templates or come over here and learn the tools. Down here, I'm going to see all of my recent applications that I've created. And then further on down are all of the templates that, the application templates specifically, not the object templates. Coming up to the top, I've got my apps here again, and again the templates. And one thing I do want to point out or let you all know is that we are releasing in the store, which means that we will be releasing new templates every month or two, and so these will continue to be built out as the year progresses. And then finally over here are the resources. So we really wanted to bring out just bite-sized information on how to use the different tools within App Engine Studio. This is not all of the information on how to use this tool, but it is the stuff that we thought would be most used or most relevant to a user in here. For example, creating a page in UI Builder. There's certainly a lot more documentation and information over on our doc site, and as Chris mentioned before, you can go and get a PDI on developer.servicenow.com, and over there there's also some learning modules that any user can pick up and look for how to use this tool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create an application, and today I'm going to create a travel request application. And I am going to, I'm coming over and I'm going to drag and drop a spreadsheet that I have already. Oops, not ready. All right, so right away what you all will see here is that there is this stepper on the side which guides the user through the steps they need to take to create an application. Certainly you don't have to do this in this particular order, but that's sort of the best practices, and we want to help citizen developers out. We also have guidance down here that any user can turn on and off the guidance if they don't want, these tooltips or the stepper here as well. This is App Home, where the citizen developer is going to be living, essentially, where they when they are creating their application. So I'm going to go ahead and add some data. So here we can either upload from a spreadsheet, create from an existing table on the ServiceNow platform, or create a table from scratch. I'm going to upload a spreadsheet that I've already got. And check it out. So one of the cool things is that this tool recognizes that there's multiple worksheets within my spreadsheet, and so I can select to convert each of them individually or just only one if I only need one. It'll help save some time. I can check out all the data that they brought over from the spreadsheet and change anything here that maybe doesn't look quite right for what I want to do. So, yeah. Let me continue on. Here, this was my I'll go ahead and make it, I'm going to go ahead and auto number it. And add it to my application.
Val, do you have that spreadsheet handy? Is that something you can show to give them an idea of what the data looked like before we imported it?
I can, yes. Once we add this table to the application, you would be able to see the data within this as well. So I might do that, actually.
Okay.
All right, so here's my budget. You see I have my different labels for the different quarters, what my total budget is. Continue here. My travel budget sheet. And I don't think I need to extend this or auto number it. All right, and now here are my new tables. So I want to go ahead and I selected edit tables. And one thing that you'll see is that App Engine Studio is sort of like the house where all of our builders live. So here on this tab is our app home. I've got this handy guide telling me, hey, you can go add your experience. But what I just do is I said I want to edit my tables. So that opened up these tables within the new table builder that we have. We can have this nice little introduction, lets the user know how they can best use table builder, and then also lets you know where you can find some advanced configurations. So here, this is that table that I brought over with all of my data in it. I can add new fields if I want to. Over here, this is where I can switch to the advanced view so that I can see the old way of seeing tables within ServiceNow, and I can also see all of the data that's in it. I can also preview the table as well so that I can just double check and make sure that the data that I brought over is coming through as well. So this is sort of what all that data is, and I just put in some dummy data in here for that. So coming back to App Home, I want to add an experience. These are the object templates that Chris mentioned earlier. So I have the option of adding a portal, a workspace, a mobile app, or a catalog item. And each of these is obviously great depending upon what your use case is for why you are building your application. I like the portals and the workspaces in particular because what we've done is actually create what we call warm, empty states for each of these experiences. So I'm going to go ahead and create a portal so you can see what that looks like. And then whenever this portal is created, it opens it up within UI Builder so that I can, or that's where, if I wanted to make changes to it, that's where I would open it up so I can edit it as needed. All right, there it is. And then just to give you a shot at what that looks like, I'm going to go ahead and open it up in UI Builder.
I love how Flow Designer is built right into App Engine Studio. It's not a separate tab or separate window anymore. I mean, it's right there next to your tables, next to your. That's a great way to go.
It saves so much time. I find myself falling more and more in love with this interface. I know it's considered for our citizen devs, but it's fun to build in. I really enjoy it.
It's an accelerator is really what it is. I'm doing similar demo to what I did last year at CreatorCon, and I'm doing it again this year at AES. That session is going to be about 10 minutes shorter. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's really great to hear, though, because that's what we want to do is we want to make it easier for anyone to build on the platform. So what you see here is that I just opened up that portal I made in the UI Builder. And out of the box, it comes with all these different pages that I can edit or I can remove as needed. This is the upgraded UI Builder as of Quebec. I've got hundreds of different components that I can just drag and drop onto my page. And then what you'll see over here is that, I'm making a travel request application, but you're seeing these different knowledge articles. This is sort of like that warm, empty state. So I'm up here, you can see on the article page, and so I've got some knowledge articles already configured. If I want to change those, I can go ahead and do that over here in my panel and configure it to whatever I want to get. I can add any styling or some events to it as well. So back over here in App Home, one quick thing I want to show you is all of the flow templates that we are shipping with. So we are shipping with, let's see here, 9 flow templates. And each of these, or at least some of them, have different spokes that if you are integrated with, you can use them. So like for this one, if you've integrated with Twitter, then you can create a flow that will automatically post a message to Twitter whenever like an incident is closed or whatever it is. I think that you all get the idea, though, of what we're doing. And so I wanted to show you something else, which I think is super powerful, which is the ability to use a template to create an application. So you guys got the idea. I'm in here. I can add data. I can add an experience, add automation, and then security to my application. I'm going to come over here and actually run one of the templates. I'm going to go ahead and use maybe the time off template. So every one of these app templates will give you a little preview of the screen within it, as well as essentially ways that the app has been used, what the app contains, and then also just some documentation so that the user knows the thought process that we went through when we were creating this application, as well as giving them some ideas on how they could potentially make this application a lot more powerful. Go ahead and just run this template so that you guys can see how the app templates compare to actually creating an application from scratch. At the end of this, and we are going to ask a question, and I want to tee it up now so that you all are thinking about it. I'm going to ask, what are some common application requests you either get or maybe ideas that you have? And it's a secretly selfish way for me to ask which app templates me and my team should be making next. So I just want to cue that up so that you all can be thinking about it. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and go over to my app dashboard. And there you have it. You see that there's already data. We have our experiences. There's actually 6 different experiences, 4 different flows, and then the security associated with that. Just to give you a better idea, here's all the different experiences. So this application includes a mobile app, a few different forms, a workspace, as well as a portal, which is pretty cool. And the user can go ahead and, if they want to check it out, they can preview what that portal might look like. So they can figure out, oh, do I want to change this? Do I not? Does it fit my use case? And if they decide that it doesn't, then they can come back over, open this up in over in UI Builder and make any changes that they want to. Which I actually just realized I'm only sharing this one tab, so you guys can't see the preview. So I might, I'll switch that over here in just a minute. The other thing that I wanted to show you is all the flows in here. Chuck mentioned how much he likes how Flow Designer is embedded within App Engine Studio. So I want to show everyone how that looks as well.
And we've redesigned, we covered this a bit in January on the Quebec release. We've redesigned the UI on Flow Designer to align closer to AES, so this is all more of a consistent experience. You'll notice similar graphics, similar buttons, similar labels. It just looks and feels the same.
Yep, exactly. We really do want to make sure that all of our tools have a similar look and feel, because that just makes it so much easier for our developers to build when they don't have to. They might be context switching between tools, but they shouldn't have to context switch between designs. So this is the Flow Designer within App Engine Studio. And then I was going to, huzzah! Anyway, so this is in the app template, this is the portal for that time off request. Certainly a user can change everything on this if they wanted to, or nothing. It's really up to the user and what they want to do and what fits their use case. So with that, that is sort of the demo of App Engine Studio. I think just one other thing to bring up here is that Chris talked about governance at the beginning. And so an important part of App Engine Studio is certainly how admins can monitor and watch what applications are being created on the tool. So you'll see here, once the user goes through all of this and makes the changes that they want to their experience, to their data, to their flow, to security, whatever, they would go ahead and submit it. And you'll see my submit button is grayed out right now because on our internal instances, they're not connected to App Repo. But what would happen is when you click on that submit button, it will send a notification to the admin to say, hey, citizen developer Val just submitted an application for your review. And then the admin can go ahead and put that application on their test environment, do whatever testing they feel is necessary for their SDLC process, and then promote it up to production and actually publish it out to the end users. So that is a demo of App Engine Studio, and I think we have some time left for questions.
Val, I believe you had an experience for mobile on there, or did I miss that? I think you did Workspace, and I was answering questions in the background.
Yes, yeah. So we do have a mobile experience on here as well. I can share again and share that to y'all if you guys want.
Yeah, we had somebody say, hey, can you show us where you do a mobile experience?
All right, yeah. So the mobile experience. So if a user wants to add a mobile application, they just click again here on this little wizard. They can go ahead and give it a name and then whatever tables they want added to it. It's loading up the tables that are actually associated with this application I created. The admin role. And then one thing that that is important to point out is that this is not making like a standalone mobile application, but rather it's making essentially a mobile applet, as they're called, within the ServiceNow mobile experience.
And you can brand that if you like. There's a lot of flexibility that you've got around that whole mobile experience. But yeah, that key point is you're going to have either the mobile agent or the Now mobile app, and your applet will be deployed to one of those two, depending on which persona you're going after.
Yep.
Yeah, and as you can see here, you're still going to jump over to Mobile Studio, which we're calling Dev Studio, to modify those applets and enhance that mobile experience.
That's on the roadmap to bring into AES, though.
I just added that mobile experience there, and then if I want to change it, like you mentioned, it'll jump me over into Mobile Studio.
We have a couple other questions, but they won't lend themselves to the demo at this point. I think we are good with the screen sharing. Let's go to our poll question.
Yeah, let's do that. So I teed this up a little bit earlier. I am curious to know, what are your most common application requests?
And while they're typing, there were a couple of questions around integrations. Can we bring data in from another table? Can we bring it in from another data source, a database, that sort of thing? I've been answering that question individually, but here's a broadcast answer. The short answer is yes. Yes, you can. The traditional way would be to use Flow Designer and integration with the appropriate spoke to that. So if you wanted to go get information out of your SAP database, you could use Flow Designer, plop on an SAP action, fill in a few fields, and you're pulling in information. If you want to send information out, similar kind of thing. There are deeper integration discussions to be had there, obviously, when you're doing any exchange between two systems, ServiceNow and a third party or whatever. There's a lot of questions you need to ask yourself about when and how much, but I get into that in a whole different series that you can tap into.
So another question, do you need to activate a plugin to get App Engine on your developer instance?
So to get App Engine Studio on your developer instance, well, on your personal developer instance, no, it should just automatically be installed, I believe. But if you're talking about within your company's like subprod instances, you do need to just go to the store and download the plugins associated with App Engine Studio. You also do need to be running on spec patch 1.
Yeah, and in case you missed it at the beginning, this is a store app. App Engine Studio comes from the store, so it's not bound to our 6-month release cycle. It is something that we can update more frequently. In fact, I heard look for the next release before Rome comes out in September, so we can be adding things on. It will make use of the technologies that are in Quebec, but we can keep adding, say, more templates or new features for experiences, whatever that happens to look like, at a quicker velocity. So that's really sort of the strategic direction we're looking at on a lot of these applications and feature add-ons, is make them available in the store. It's going to be a living nightmare here at ServiceNow as far as marketing and sales and pricing and managing plugins and documentation, but the benefit is on your side. You get things much quicker.
Yeah.
That is right. All right. So hopefully everyone has had a chance to type in what their common application requests are. I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of that so I can help inform my roadmap for new app templates. I think with that, the top takeaways here for App Engine Studio is that, number one, it enables anyone to build apps fast. Number two, you can leverage the pre-built templates that you saw. And of course, number three, we can maintain that governance. And you'll be seeing continued, innovations in each of these three areas as we go through our releases.
There's going to be a lot of focus on that governance piece because we've heard a lot from some of our early adopters in the early access, the RTP program that have given us this feedback. So, oh man, there is so much to do. I wish we had about 10 times more developers. All right, take you through the post Q or pre Q&A post show playbook. Don't forget, we have a lot of reference information. I pasted a couple of links into the chat in the Q&A earlier about where you can find information, but here you go. Here's your dictionary of how to find that. People were asking about governance and how we can set up a COE or Center of Excellence to manage that pipeline. Good questions today. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Really look forward to seeing you again sometime. Let's see if I can get the right hand on the right keyboard over here. We invite you. We mentioned this is available on your personal developer instance. So if you go to developer.servicenow.com and you either identify yourself as a builder or citizen developer or a more experienced developer, you will still get the same experience. Look for App Engine Studio. If you type that into the filter on the upper left, you will find it. It's quite easy. Start playing with it. Experiment. Follow through the demo if you want. Go back and do what Val did. We've got plenty of other episodes. This is number 85. So we've been doing this for a long time. Lots of great things. If you want more TechNow information, we've got a library full of it. Also invite you to look at the videos that are available on the ServiceNow Developer Program YouTube channel as well. If we didn't get to your questions and answers, I really appreciate Chris being there in the background with us, answering those. We will get to the unanswered ones as quickly as possible and post those with the video. Everything in the community, you will get an email that says, thanks for participating. Here's some links to your questions. If you ask more than one, you'll get a single email with all of those links taking you right to your question. So we work hard to keep you in touch. Real quickly, our next TechNow is May 25th. We're taking a month off so we can work very hard and focus on CreatorCon. Our next TechNow is May 25th. Andrew Barnes, developer advocate, will be joining us to show us different ways to debug in ServiceNow. We've got different approaches for different things. He loves some of these new Quebec tools. If you've seen him present on Script Tracer, it's a wonderful thing. He's got a great example. If not, I invite you to join us May 25th. So mark your calendars. Same time, same day, just Tuesday at 8 a.m. You should be online watching. There's a lot of stuff to see. And of course, I mentioned it, CreatorCon Knowledge begins May 11th. We'll be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with live content, 11, 12, 13. Then the following week, 18, 19, 20. So 3 more days. Some is live, some is on demand, some is Q&A, some is interactive. We are pulling these details together fast and furious right now to bring you a wonderful experience. We learned last week that 6 weeks was too much. We learned last week that hour-long presentations were too long. So we're taking that and learning from it and giving you a much better digital experience. Mark your calendars. This is the time to go. Do we have any Q&A left there for us, Jeremy? We've got about 60 seconds for a quick one.
There's one that came up, and I'll call out because we don't have a link on our slide, but someone was asking how to enable their developers or their citizen developers. So Now Learning is there's a path out there which has many courses for your citizen developers to take. So just keep an eye on that, and you'll continue to see some help out there.
Well, thank you very much, Val. I know we had some technical issues. We'll edit those out and post, or if you didn't see them and you're watching this later, you missed the fun. Thank you, Chris, for telling us about App Engine Studio and answering those questions for us in the background. Have a good day. Everybody stay safe. We will talk to you again real soon.